If you've been to Las Vegas lately, you've probably seen it. That massive blue glass tower at the far north end of the Strip. It looks new, powerful, futuristic. 67 stories of pure ambition gleaming under the desert sun. That's the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, the tallest occupiable building in Nevada and one of the most expensive resorts ever built in America. It finally opened its doors in December 2023 after nearly 2 decades of chaos. But less than a year later, insiders say the cracks are already showing. Layoffs, low traffic, weak casino numbers, and frustrated staff. What was supposed to be a symbol of Vegas's rebirth might already be turning into its next ghost tower. So today, we're talking about why the Fontainebleau, a $3.7 billion dream, might be collapsing before it ever really began. To understand how we got here, we have to go back to the beginning. Construction on the Fontainebleau started in 2007 during the height of the Las Vegas boom. The plan was bold, a massive luxury resort modeled after the legendary Fontainebleau Miami Beach. It was supposed to open in 2010, full of glass, marble, and promise. Then came the Great Recession. By 2009, the money dried up, the developers went bankrupt, and construction stopped overnight. What was left behind was a haunting reminder of excess, a 735-foot tall, unfinished skeleton that loomed over the North Strip for more than a decade. Locals called it the Ghost Tower. Over the years, it changed hands multiple times. Billionaire Carl Icahn bought it out of bankruptcy for pennies on the dollar, stripped it for parts, and just let it sit. Later, another group rebranded it as the Drew Las Vegas, promising a new start. That failed too. It wasn't until Jeffrey Soffer, the original developer, bought it back with Koch real estate investments that construction finally restarted. The price tag, a jaw-dropping $3.7 billion. And when Fontainebleau finally opened in late 2023, nearly 16 years after breaking ground, it was billed as a miracle. But that miracle came at a cost few people saw coming. From day one, the Fontainebleau positioned itself as ultra-luxury. It has 3,644 rooms. 150,000 square foot casino, 27 restaurants, 11 bars, a massive spa, and a convention center connected to the Las Vegas Convention Center expansion. On paper, it sounds unstoppable. In reality, it's a high-risk bet built on fragile economics. Vegas is changing, tourism is slowing, room rates are dropping, locals aren't spending, and the Fontainebleau opened right as visitor numbers were starting to fall, down more than 6% year-to-date, according to UNLV's Center for Business and Economic Research. Meanwhile, the Fontainebleau's prices are pushing the limit. Standard rooms average $400 to $600 a night, not including the $50+ resort fee and paid parking. Drinks run $25+, breakfast is $40, and some suites go for $2,000 a night. It's not that people don't want luxury, it's that they're already drowning in it. Every casino now claims to be premium, from Resorts World to Wynn, but the more Vegas pushes prices up, the fewer people can afford to play along. Fontainebleau's problem isn't just competition, it's timing. They built the most expensive luxury resort in Vegas history right as the middle class stopped showing up. Within 5 months of opening, news quietly broke that Fontainebleau had laid off dozens of table game dealers. One of the first warning signs that things weren't adding up. Casinos don't fire dealers unless something's wrong. That's your front line. If they're cutting staff that early, it means the floor isn't pulling the numbers they expected. According to several former employees who spoke off record, table traffic has been shockingly light. Some weekends, entire sections of the casino are closed. The energy that should be buzzing through a new property just isn't there. And it's not just dealers. Workers across departments, security, food service, and housekeeping have complained about long hours, understaffing, and shrinking tips. For a resort that was supposed to represent the next evolution of Vegas hospitality, morale inside Fontainebleau feels more like a slow-motion burnout. Let's talk about geography. Fontainebleau sits on the north end of the Strip, wedged between the Las Vegas Convention Center and Circus Circus. It's a tough spot. Historically, that area struggles with foot traffic. Tourists tend to cluster around the middle of the Strip: Bellagio, Caesars, MGM, Paris, and Venetian. The North End has always been slower, emptier, less glamorous. Resorts World already learned that lesson the hard way after opening in 2021 and missing its revenue targets. Now Fontainebleau is facing the same problem: luxury without location. Most guests don't want to Uber from one end of the Strip to the other just to gamble, and conventions, which Fontainebleau is heavily relying on, aren't enough to fill a casino every night. When there's no big event next door, the place goes quiet. Even locals call it beautiful, but out of the way. In Vegas, that's the kiss of death. In early 2024, Nevada Gaming Control Board investigators confirmed they were looking into the resort's president, Mark Tricano, for possible anti-money laundering compliance issues. That's not the kind of headline a billion-dollar casino wants in its first year. Sources told local news that management was rattled, and internal policies were quietly being reworked to avoid further regulatory problems. Combine that with the layoffs, the high burn rate, and the drop in convention business, and you start to see the pattern. Fontainebleau might look shiny on the outside, but it's already fighting fires on the inside. One of the biggest complaints from visitors isn't the decor, it's the vibe. Fontainebleau looks stunning. The architecture is impressive, but guests consistently describe the experience as cold, empty, and soulless. The service feels robotic, the energy flat, the staff overworked. It's like walking into a luxury showroom where everything sparkles but nothing feels alive. That's not a small problem in Vegas. That's the entire product. People don't come to Vegas for architecture. They come for atmosphere, excitement, human energy. Fontainebleau has all the ingredients but none of the flavor. Even food reviewers have pointed out that while the restaurants are high quality, the prices are insane even by Vegas standards. One reviewer said, "It feels like they're trying to be the Bellagio of 2005 in a city that's moved on." Here's the irony. Fontainebleau was supposed to be a comeback story and proof that Vegas could still dream big, but instead it's become a symbol of how corporate Vegas keeps making the same mistake, confusing luxury with life. You can't engineer excitement. You can't spreadsheet human connection. When Wall Street investors like Koch Industries get involved, the focus shifts from experience to ROI, from guests to units. Fontainebleau isn't just a casino, it's a financial asset, a real estate play, a line on a balance sheet, and that's the problem. The more Vegas chases corporate perfection, the less human it feels. Fontainebleau may be the cleanest, newest, most high-tech resort in town, but it's missing the one thing that made this city special: soul. So where does Fontainebleau go from here? Maybe it finds its footing, maybe it figures out how to blend ultra-luxury with genuine hospitality, or maybe it becomes another monument to Vegas overreach. A billion-dollar tower that proves bigger doesn't always mean better. Right now, the numbers don't lie. Traffic is weak, labor costs are high, employee turnover is rising, and reviews, while polite, are lukewarm. The Fontainebleau might not collapse tomorrow, but the signs are there. A resort this big can't afford to stumble, and right now, it's walking a fine line between ambition and arrogance. Vegas has always been a city built on illusion, but the truth is, even the brightest towers cast the darkest shadows. And if the Fontainebleau doesn't adapt fast, it might soon join the long list of Vegas dreams that shine too bright and burned out too soon. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown useful, hit like and subscribe. We'll keep exposing what's really happening behind the neon, from the Strip's newest towers to the ones already falling apart, because Vegas isn't just a city, it's a warning.